So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Hello and good morning. I'm Michael Ware, President and CEO of the Center for Christianity and Public Life, and you're listening to The Morning 5. Glad to have you with us. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd. Let's start today with a reading from Luke 18. He told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart. He said, in a certain city, there was a judge who neither feared God nor respected man. And there was a widow in that city who kept coming to him and saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." For a while he refused, but afterward he said to himself, "Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice, so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming." And the Lord said, "Hear what the unrighteous judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?" May God bless the reading of his word. All right, friends, let's get right to the news today. First up, a new report released by the Trump administration tallied how many Americans are living on the street or in homeless shelters. The report, which comes out after a count each year, found that just over 745,000 people were homeless at the start of 2025. That marks a 3% decrease over 2024's numbers, which found 770,000 people experiencing homelessness. Still, homelessness is increasing in most states, and it has gone up 27% overall since 2013, according to the report. Next, for today's updates, Iran launched 2 missiles yesterday at American forces in Kuwait, an attack that threatens ongoing talks over how to end the war. No American personnel were harmed, according to the U.S. military. American forces have also targeted Iran in recent days, attacking radar and command sites in Iran this past weekend after Iran shot down an American drone that was traveling over international waters. Finally, we told you yesterday about repression in China. The New York Times reports that a Chinese company is trying to make it easier for the government, developing an AI-powered system to monitor dissidents and also predict which citizens might become political dissidents in the future, even if they haven't yet said anything critical of the government. The company is called Gauge Networks. Leaked documents revealed the new work about dissidents, which researchers at Vanderbilt University are raising alarms over. This is what happens when mass surveillance meets AI, Brett Goldstein, a researcher at Vanderbilt, said. What China is doing to its own citizens is a preview of what becomes possible anywhere these tools go unchecked. With that, let's get into today's main story. Former Vice President Mike Pence continues to speak out regarding his vision for the future of the Republican Party. Pence, a former governor of Indiana who served in the House of Representatives as well before becoming vice president during President Trump's first term. As many of our listeners know, Pence clashed with the president in January 2021 when Trump sought to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. Pence refused to throw out lawful state results when Congress tallied them on January 6th of 2021. Now, last week, Pence criticized a proposed fund that could have paid out money to people prosecuted for mobbing the Capitol that day, saying it is a bad idea and asking the president to drop it. More from Pence on a recent interview on NBC. He said, "It's deeply offensive to me that you could have a fund that could even possibly compensate people who assaulted police officers or vandalized the Capitol on January 6th. And I think that's broadly held by most Republicans and most Americans. The Justice Department has said the $1.7 billion fund would open to applicants who believe they were targeted by the Biden administration for political purposes. But the fund faces court challenges. And as of yesterday, there isn't a clear way to proceed following a ruling against the fund. Pence yesterday took his differences with President Trump to the Wall Street Journal in an op-ed. In that op-ed, he writes that the GOP faces a momentous choice. Will we remain a party of conservative beliefs, or will we follow the siren song of populism? Pence continues, populism is progressivism in disguise. It strikes at us not from the Democratic Party, but from within our own ranks, sparking a battle for the soul of the Republican Party. Populists follow urges, not principles. They would erode our commitment to the Constitution and abandon U.S. leadership in the world. I'll read more from the essay, as it's notable for a former vice president to make comments like these regarding the state of his party. In the op-ed, Pence writes, conservatism is full of common sense. It applies inherited wisdom and innate judgment to politics. Yet Mr. Trump makes a distinction between conservatism and common sense. In doing so, he reveals that his political commitments are grounded not in conservative principles, but in his instincts, which have often been conservative, but increasingly aren't. Where Mr. Trump once defended the right to life, he washed his hands of the pro-life cause, claiming that abortion policy is no longer the business of the federal government. Where he once pushed the courts in a conservative direction through smart nominations, he attacked many of the people and groups involved in building one of his most important legacies. Where he once wanted businesses to flourish in a free market system, he brought about partial federal ownership of several corporations. Where he once wanted to engage in the world and lead, he has increasingly withdrawn from it and sought to isolate the U.S. from its longtime allies. Where he once defended free markets and expanded international trade, he embraced broad-based tariffs, protectionism, and price controls on prescription drugs and credit cards. Between the conclusion of his first term and his pursuit of his second, Mr. Trump heard populism's siren song. He and those around him ran to it. Now, as Mr. Trump launched his third presidential campaign, he continued to insist that I had the power to overturn the 2020 election as Senate president in 2021. He even advocated setting aside the Constitution. A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, he wrote on Truth Social in 2022. We have all learned to treat Mr. Trump's social media posts with skepticism, but a conservative would never say such a thing. Here was a clear case of Mr. Trump's newfound populism merging with progressivism and its hostility to constitutional order. End quote. Since Pence's departure from the government, he has launched a think tank called Advancing American Freedom, which is seeking to present a conservative path forward for the GOP, conservative in the old pre-2015 sense of the word, not the new right sense of it. Mark Short, who chairs Pence's think tank, also came out against some of the Trump administration's policies in a Washington Post opinion piece yesterday. He wrote, President Trump's trade policies have punched farmers in the mouth, and this time there's no global pandemic to blame. Republicans will potentially have intensifying debates about the future of their party following this year's midterm elections, in part depending on the results of those elections, as potential presidential contenders position themselves for the 2028 presidential election. Let's stop there for today and go to the Lord together in prayer. Dear Father, always near us, may your name be treasured and loved. May your rule be completed in us. May your will be done here on earth in just the way it is done in heaven. Give us today the things we need today, and forgive us our sins and impositions on you as we are forgiving all who in any way offend us. Please don't put us through trials, but deliver us from everything bad, because you are the one in charge and you have all the power, and the glory too is all yours forever, which is just the way we want it. All right, friends, thank you for joining me today. As always, the Morning Five is brought to you in partnership with the That Sounds Fun Network, supported by the Center for Christianity and Public Life. If you'd like to learn more about our work at CCPL, you can visit ccpubliclife.org. Hope you have a tremendous Tuesday.